All right, guys, here we are at the KCBS Summer Showdown for the Georgia BBQ Championship in Cumming, Georgia. I'll give you a little bit of shot of our campsite. We're living good today. We're borrowing an RV so that we can kind of get out of the heat a little bit. But I think we got a pretty good setup. So I'll walk you guys around the campsite, show you what we got going, and then I'll show you what the guys are doing inside. Got our banner hanging up. We got some extra shade today because we got the awning on the camper. Got our flags flying, US flag and Marine Corps flag. And so we got a pretty good setup. We're probably going to move this before we get going in the morning because the sun's going to come up from a different direction. But we're liking it. We're kind of right on the edge of some grass. We got full hookup. Well, not sewer, but water and power. And yeah, it's a pretty nice little area. I'll give you a shot of what the rest of the campsite looks like. You can see we got quite a few campers out there, and this is probably only about half the teams that are going to show up. So it's going to be a pretty good contest. I think there's somewhere close to 30 or 40 pro teams and about 20 backyard teams, so it'll be a good time.
We'll find these short ribs and just go ahead and cut this to get that out of the way.
So we got a new guy on the team. Old Christian, getting taught how to trim some ribs here. And we got most of our meat trimmed. We just didn't get 2 ribs trimmed before we got here, so we're working on that now.
Like a rib tip, so like I did the same thing over here. I ended up cutting that off, so I'm just gonna cut that off so I don't accidentally put it in a box or something. And then typically, like if I had my other 2 racks out here, I just try to get them like about the same size, so the fat ends together. Cut off what we don't want.
Hey Zach, tell me what your you don't have to get super detailed. Just tell me what your process is for trimming ribs. Where do you start?
All right, so typically, ideally, I start with one that somebody has already trimmed, so I don't have to do anything. What I'll go with is what are the spare tire ribs. We want them to come down to these St. Louis style ribs. And so that basically brings me down to here in a nutshell. Amen.
We tried doing them detached and just close everything off once we practiced it.
Start here this morning. It is about 4:15. I just woke Christian up out of his chair right there starting to talk. It's about 95% humidity right now and about mid-70s at the moment, so it'll be a hot one today. Brianna told me it's supposed to be the hottest day of the year today, so that should be fun. But it's 4:15. We got the chimney going, getting this Weber Smokey Mountain going. We'll get our butts on about 5:30, 6 o'clock probably. We'll just kind of go from there, but we'll kind of give you some shots of the different trims and things like that. But we'll start here today and just kind of follow the process as we go throughout the day cooking this barbecue competition. Not gonna lie, we're not near as prepared as we've been in the past because we've been so busy with steak cooking. So, but I think we'll do good. I think we got some good flavors going. So we'll just bring you guys along today as we go through this. We got Dawson here doing some butts first thing in the morning. Gonna be the first to go on. Got a little climax going. Let's see. A little climax, a steak shake, not just for beef. A little go-to barbecue rub. How you feeling, Dawson?
All right.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. And
this is not my favorite butts I think we've ever used. But.
Christian's still asleep. So this is one of my favorite times of the morning. It's really not that bad waking up super early. You're doing something you want to be doing. And it's when you start to see smoke coming up out of everybody's tent. Got Derek here getting ready to go. And just a really nice relaxing part of the morning, even if you did get only 4 hours of sleep.
All right, everybody, so what we're using today, if you look over here, you probably think we're at a steak competition because of how many rubs we got out right now, but I promise we're over here cooking ribs. I started out, put my AP, my base layers on. Today I'm using Bill Mann's Kick and Pit Grit. I really like that to use as my base layer, as my all-purpose. It's got a little bit more heat in there, just a little bit. I don't have the sensitive tongue to really be able to feel the subtle heat, so I really like that Kick and Pit Grit. It lets me know that it's there, but in my opinion, it's not too much. So I've got that on there. I'm about to come in with some Arkassippi stuff right here. We got all queued up go-to barbecue, and we've got Hottie Toddy's rib rub. Honestly, I couldn't decide which one I wanted to use, so I decided I was going to use both. Typically, when I cook ribs, I put way too much rub on there, but I'm going to try to contain myself today and put an adequate, appropriate amount of rub on there. We'll get all our ribs seasoned up, and then we'll stick them on the smoker for 3 or 4 hours, and then we'll see what happens.
Doing the chicken here, getting it ready. It's going to go on here in about an hour, and as you can see, I've got the skin pulled back. Done a little trimming in there, popped some tendons, a couple things like that, and then I got my base layers, which is going to be the Arkassippi chicken combo, which is Rockin' Rooster and Climax AP. And so those are kind of what's on the meat, but you got this piece of skin on the outside, and so I'm actually going to go for adding a little bit of extra pepper to it. So I'm actually going to add a little bit of Kick and Pit Grit on there. Some people might think that's crazy, but I tried it the other day. It turned out pretty good. Just to get that little bit of spice in there. But yeah, I'm wrapping these things up, and then I'll do another season with the Kick and Pit Grit just lightly, and then a light Rockin' Rooster just for a little color on the outside. Then we'll be good to go. So. you hound hogs and hogettes, gotta stick with tradition and give you a post-competition update from the front seat of my truck. So that was yesterday. It was super hot. I know there was some friends of ours cooking down in Auburn for an SCA. It's like 109 degrees down there, and it was definitely over 100 degrees heat index in Cumming. So it was hot. The RV was a lifesaver. It still took a toll on us, but we had a good time. So here's our results. Let's see, I got one of them sitting up here. I'll put the pictures of our turn-ins over here so you can look at them. Tell me what you think. If you have any questions, just put those in the comments as well. But we got a 5th place in chicken. We got a 4th place in ribs. I also got 9th place pork. Now, here's what I noticed about the pork. And there's always somebody that's going to say something like this: we got a bad table. But you know, that's just the way the competition sport is. The reason I say we got a bad table is we actually got 1st place on our table, and that was a 9th place. So that just means it was a low scoring table. There might have been 1 or 2 judges that were scoring pretty low. Of course, they do drop the lowest judge. And then we actually got so close to our first GC or RGC. We got 3rd place overall. We are super stoked about that because, like I said, we went out there with basically no recipe. This is the first barbecue comp that we've really cooked since I got picked up by Team Arkassippi, which you guys know I've been using their stuff since before then. But they've really expanded their line, and the Sweet Southern Shine sauce, I guarantee you it's what helped us, because almost everybody out there had a bottle of Blues Hog and we didn't. And so it's just as good. And if you want to not taste like everybody else but still have that good competition taste, that's what I'd go with. But we're super excited. It gives us kind of the encouragement we need to go back and do it again later this year. As always, guys, we want to encourage you guys to turn ideas into realities. We want you to go out and cook something new and try something different. And so if we can help you in any way, just leave a comment, send us a message on Facebook. Go ahead and like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys next time.